If the youths of this very country don't do anything, Nigeria is doomed. Many of us that are youths do not even know what is about to hit us in the nearest future. Thankfully, the youths are rising. A peaceful protest is about to be set into motion. The youths are waking up. The level of hardship in Nigeria is alarming. A lot of things are against the youth. The government are against the youth. The police are against the youth. EFCC are turning into a tool used only by those in power against the youth. The judicial system is now selective in passing justice. Many corrupt politicians are fixing their family members in strategic positions so that after their heavy looting, their wives, their husbands, or even their children can use the court of law and save their corrupt souls. Where is the future for a common man in this country called Nigeria? In this video, I will expose the hidden reason why the youths of Nigeria needs to do a peaceful against bad governance. I want us to have a clearer outline. Corruption in Nigeria is a chain reaction. From the First Republic, Second Republic, Third Republic, and now the Fourth Republic, corruption has been in place. Nigeria as a country has lost over $600 billion to corruption. The painful part is that many of our politicians steal this money in dollars and not in naira because they know that the naira will keep on depreciating. We are even talking about the 27.5 trillion naira budget allocation for 2024. Do you know that the former Senate President Ahmed Lawan and his cohorts misappropriated 30 trillion naira and the matter has been swept under the carpet? Nobody is saying anything about it. This is more than the 2024 budget. The most painful part why Nigerian youth are agitating is that our politicians are stealing billions and billions of dollars on a monthly basis. But Nigeria as a country don't have enough gross domestic products. Aside crude oil, which we export in its crude state, we don't have a major source of income, maybe a mineral resources that we export and get money in foreign currencies in return. Majority of our annual budget are money borrowed from the International Monetary Fund. Now, this is where the future of Nigerian youths are in jeopardy. Our corrupt politicians using the International Monetary Fund to sponsor their corrupt and their exorbitant lifestyle. There are two things that are detrimental to the progress of a Nigerian youth in the nearest future. Number one is our corrupt politicians, and number two is the money borrowed from International Monetary Fund and the policies that goes with refunding of such an amount of money. Now let me explain. From our corrupt politicians, from the 27.5 trillion naira that we have as a 2024 budget, the politicians are going to scamper, they are going to loot, they are going to steal at least 60% of that money. Bet me, these people are too greedy, they are too corrupt. Now, secondly, the International Monetary Fund and the money borrowed from them with the policies attached with the borrowing. For every amount borrowed from the International Monetary Fund, there is a policy that says that Nigeria as a country cannot withdraw all the money. There is a minimum withdrawal limit for every money borrowed from IMF. Now, here is where it gets nasty. Nigeria is already owing IMF 110 billion US dollars. And any small thing, we will run back to IMF to borrow more money, from which many politicians will still steal from. What we are doing with IMF, it is us compromising on the future generation just to satisfy the gratifications of today. We are merely feeding the pockets of our hungry and corrupt politicians. The IMF, at a first glance, it seems as though their offer is very fair, giving Nigeria 1% interest on money borrowed and also telling Nigeria that they are not liable to start repayment until after 10 years. For example, if Nigeria borrowed $1 billion in 2024, paying back of that $1 billion will start in the year 2034, giving Nigeria a 10 years grace. Now, here is the issue. The 10 years grace is not the problem. Spreading the loan over a period of 30 years, even after the 10 years grace, is not the problem. The challenge here is the depreciation of Naira. Now, don't get me wrong. If Nigeria collects $1 billion, Nigeria will pay back that same amount of money. Not in the Naira, but we still convert their Naira to dollars just to be able to pay back IMF. Imagine if in 2024, $1 is being sold at 1,000 Naira. Imagine what will happen in 2064, that is 40 years from now. How much will Nigeria need to pay back to complete the payment of $1 billion US? With an exchange rate of 1,000 Naira per $1, Nigeria will need to pay 1 trillion Naira to pay back $1 billion US. But in 2064, if at that time $1 is equivalent to 5,000 Naira, it means that Nigeria will need to pay back 5 trillion Naira just to pay back $1 billion US. You are not talking about the interest though. You have not talked about the interest. So you see, what we are doing currently with our government is just compromising on the resources that will be available for the future generation just because of our immediate gratifications. In the future, Nigeria might become bankrupt. Natural resources have a limit to which they can be stressed. This crude oil we are exploring like this, a time is going to come where crude oil is going to be no more. What will our future generation feed off of when our greedy politicians are busy packing the money meant for the future in hard currency just for themselves, just for their children?
I sent the message out to them. Are you aware that people are very angry out there? Are you doing something about it? And the response is that yes, we are aware it's the work of opposition. I say we are finished. Because no opposition would want to bring down the roof of the country on itself. Because they are in the country. So if the country collapses, is it only going to collapse on the ruling or the governing party? No. So when people in power start responding like that, then I'm worried. I'm worried for this president. I'm worried for myself. Wow. There's problem out there. A bag of rice is now selling for 100,000. A bag of maize is selling for 100,000. My wife was telling me that a basket of tomato is about 100,000 too. Onions. Every food is going up the price. Inflation is 40%. The value of our naira is going down. And then, not only that, when you tell people in government that, hey, people are hungry, angry, and they are preparing, or there are signs that they will revolt, and you say, no, don't worry about them. That is very, very dangerous. And I hope this will be, to me, God will exonerate me because I told them. And many Nigerians today told me and encouraged me to come for this year program, speak out on our behalf. And that's why I was elected. If the government doesn't do anything, there will be problem.